Let's take you through the global handover from last night to get an idea of what our markets might do today. Well, the US markets actually had a very strong day last night. The Dow was up more than 500 points, posting its best day in 2 weeks. Your futures also at one point was a clear 500 points in the green. Now that seems to have tapered off closer to around 300 points up. Nonetheless, that suggests a very strong opening tomorrow as well. Over here, the S&P 500 also jumped 1.3%. The only index which really lackluster, which comes as quite a surprise, is the NASDAQ, because it's just been outperforming everything else. We finally seen a bit of a halt on the advance over there. It underperformed yesterday, still up 0.9%, but based on what we've been seeing in the last couple of weeks, the last couple trading sessions are definitely underperformance for the NASDAQ. Now, all this action in the US happened on the back of the fact that the medical company Moderna came out with its clinical trial results. Based on a trial conducted on 45 patients, they concluded that their vaccine creates a high level of antibodies in all of the participants of the trial. That actually sent Moderna shares flying as well, and then obviously invigorated the entire US market. So that's what kept the US market really upbeat. Coming down to Asia, that definitely seems to have spilled over. In Japan, the Nikkei gained 1.22% in early trade. The Topix was up 1.11%. The Kospi was up 1.31%. Australian ASX 200 was up nearly 0.7%. And overall, the MSCI index barring Japan was performing really well, around 0.4% higher. The only thing over here, a fork in the road or a glitch that could come up, is that the Bank of Japan is going to release its economic output report today at around 10 a.m. So that's going to weigh down on sentiment as far as Asia Pacific is concerned. Now, if we come down to Europe, they didn't really seem to catch on to the US rally. The pan-European Stoxx 600 closed down 1% provisionally. Tech stocks here led the losses, so that's similar. It's mirroring the weak performance in the NASDAQ. The tech stocks in the Stoxx 600 were down 2.8%. However, over here, most of your bourses and sectors were in negative territory. Let's move forward to oil. The big OPEC meet. We have two of them, one of which seems to have concluded yesterday. Now, oil prices have risen because the OPEC has actually cut more production than they initially decided to cut in June. So that's going to keep your prices buoyant, which is evident as Brent crude futures gained 18 cents or 0.4% and settled at nearly $43 per barrel. Your WTI went up 20 cents or 0.47% and settled at $40.29 per barrel. So they're both above that critical support of $40, but that's on the back of a heavy production cut. And gold, needless to say, popped up by virus wars. Doesn't matter what the equity markets do, as long as there's a surge in cases, the demand for gold seems to continue and still firmly trading well above $1,800. Futures yesterday settled at $1,813, which is on the upper end of what we've seen in the last week.